Hello everybody, it's Rachel here. Welcome to another Craft With Me session. Today I'm going to be making some pockets, and I figured out how to do this from a wrapping paper tutorial that I saw on Pinterest. So let me just grab some plain paper here. Well, I say plain, but it's actually coffee dyed or tea dyed, this one I think. So yeah, I was inspired by a Pinterest tutorial for wrapping paper, but I'd never seen this before. You might have seen it already, but I just thought it was a cool idea. So we begin by lining up the top edge with the bottom edge, and then you're not going to crease the whole way along. You're going to run your fingers up, crease the centre third section, so around about there. And you're going to place your finger at the top of the crease and your thumb down parallel at the bottom edge, and then you're going to pull this top bit and you're going to pull it down so that this lines up at the bottom edge. You're going to crease along there, and then we want this top to make a triangle. So you can crease it lightly first and then move it over if you wish. And then do the same on the opposite side. So finger and thumb while you crease down the edge, and then we're going to overlap like so. And then push down those triangles. Then you're going to place your finger parallel to this line and you're going to fold it down and again line up this bottom one. Now one thing that you must remember is to make sure that where this edge meets this edge, it must be to the left of that triangle, so it's over here ever so slightly, but that's the only way that it won't leave a gap. Do the same in the opposite direction. And there you have a double pocket. Let me just see if I've got a card somewhere nearby. So you've got a pocket at the back and a pocket at the front. Now of course we're going to need to seal this up. So you just need to do it in layers. I'm just going to take this first layer, put some glue down the bottom. Probably a bit too much for this paper, it's quite thin. And we're just going to glue each part shut in the order that we put it down. In fact, I think that I did that in the opposite order, but it doesn't matter because it's symmetrical. And then that one, then that one, and then that one. And then this one you need to glue up the centre seam as well, and that will hold it down into place. And then of course just give it a good press down so that everything is in the right shape, and then I like to put it underneath while it dries. Okay, so that was the first example, and then now I'm just going to make a few more. Oh, excuse me. So what I really like about these pockets is the fact that it hides one side completely. So when you've got white sides, like one pattern side and one white side, it's a good way to get rid of those and use them up. Because I sometimes find that I use a lot of double-sided stuff and then I'm left with a load of you know, single-sided. So wrapping paper, this is a good use for your wrapping paper scraps, because I know after every Christmas we're like, we've got to use these, but we don't really know what to do with wrapping paper. So this is a good way to use it up. So crease down the centre third, I'm sure if you play around with it you could do some different obscure shapes. The one thing is that it is directional, so I mean if that bothers you then you're going to want to use a print that's non-directional. But if you're like me and you're not too fussed, as long as the back one is straight then that's okay. Now this particular piece of paper that I'm using isn't cut straight, so that's why none of these triangles are lining up nicely. Line it up with my finger and crease it down. Line it up with my finger. And crease it down again. And then all I'm going to do is just chop along and keep that nice and straight. I'm hoping this cuts through because sometimes my paper trimmer, it's a bit blunt I think, so no, it's not going to like that. What I'm going to do instead, if I can find it. Right, I've brought my trolley over now, so I should have more of my things at hand. So I'm removing the blade and I'm just going to pop that scoring tool in. And then I can just use it to score. And then I'll cut that down with a pair of scissors. Yes, so my paper cutter is a bit blunt at the moment. It needs a new blade, so it doesn't like using paper. It only likes cutting card. It's brilliant at cutting card, so I don't know. I've tried the old using foil trick, but it didn't work. That was terrible. That's a problem when you're using scissors to cut through a lot of layers. Maybe a craft knife would have been better. In fact, I think I'm going to do that. It's a long time since I've used this, so this has got a chance to be blunt as well. That will give me a straighter edge. And you can decorate the bottom in several ways. Obviously just use your imagination. I'm just thinking I don't really need to stick that bottom one down. Oh, I'll do it anyway just to make it extra secure. Don't mind those bits being raggedy, as they're just going to be hidden. Could have done a better job with that glue, like. But hey ho, that's the way it goes sometimes. Precise crafters are few and far between if you ask me. So we don't need to do the centre seam just because that's so low down. I'll give it an extra dab in there. Too. So that was an obscure size that I had, but it's still made a cool pocket. And if I turn it that way, then that'll give us the shadow that we need to see those pockets there. And then you can just slip something behind. Obviously give it time to dry and don't use it before it's dry like I'm trying to here. So that can go under there. And we'll do a couple more I think. So I just need to find some decent papers and then I'll tell you what, we'll use a plain one. How do I feel about that? Yeah, I think if I use this one then the holes are going to be covered, so we'll go for this one. Actually no, I'm not, because I want it to be upways. Portrait way. Or did I do the last one portrait? We will see how this squarey one goes. And then I'm going to decorate it as well. Just try and fold that little corner out that's getting a bit dog-eared. Okay, so top to bottom, centre third, thumb and finger holding it in place, and then crease it down to match the bottom. Straighten down the triangle, thumb and finger at the other side, crease it, finger parallel, and that gives us that centimetre-ish gap at the top between the two pockets, and the same again on the other side. Obviously if you want to make that gap closer together, then that's fine, you can do that, just use something smaller to measure it. But I just thought that was an easy way, and it had a nice general sized gap. So I'm not going to worry about those holes, because I'm going to cover it up with something, some sort of badge or emblem or something like that, and then glue it down. So this video, I am filming it on Saturday, and it's the first day of the October half term. So I've dropped my son at my mum's house. He's playing with his cousin around there, so he's enjoying that. I'm trying to get my videos done so that I can have some free time this week to spend with him. I'm gonna try and do some cool activities with him. Just be nice to be out of the routine, out of the normal routine, I think, for both of us. We were wanting to do something quite active, like there's a place called Go Ape, which is like a high ropes course. I've never been before, but a lot of people that have been say it's really good, and it's something that's challenging for the adults as well as challenging for the kids, so I'm hoping that we can go somewhere like that. Or the other option was to go and do some, there's a place called Castleford, and I can't remember what the place is called, but it's got like a ski slope, an indoor ski slope, and it has other activities such as sledging and things like that on, so maybe we'll go there. I'm not sure yet, we haven't decided. I haven't told him about this because I don't want him to get excited in case it doesn't happen for whatever reason, but that's on the plan for this week. So getting these videos done now just frees up my time a bit more. Not that doing videos is a hassle by any way, shape or form, it's just that I can only film during certain times because I'm using natural daylight, and it obviously gets very dark at the minute, so I've got to avoid that time rather. So I've just fished out these pieces of lace from my stash. Isn't that so pretty? I'm thinking this one's going to work the best to cover up those circles, those punched holes. So if I cut that to size, it's going to need some more embellishment. Do I want to have that? Try and straighten it up first. think straight was a bit optimistic, wasn't it? Don't think that'd been in. Right, I'm just going to snip some of that edging off. And then see if I can pull some of that away so that it's not so perfect. Not that it was perfect, but you know, not so straight. A frayed edge is what I'm trying to say. Like that, I'm going to glue that down. And then I'm going to add a bit of shape to this butterfly by lifting his wings and curling them slightly. Just to add dimension, I think. This ticket's speaking to me today. Oh, it's going to be used in something, I'm sure it is. Delicate butterfly, nope. Birds, no. I think just the butterfly on its own is going to work the best. I'm just going to stick that down before I overthink it. So that can go there. That's what I should have done. Possibly. No, we'll just leave that for now. I think I'm going to need to hold that down, so I'll just put that on top. So let me just clear a space and then I'll show you the one that we've done. So we've done the plain one, the Christmas wrapping paper one, and the butterfly one. So thank you very much for watching. I'll see you on Tuesday for a tutorial